Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's topic is how to be a better reader. I am going to walk you through 7 strategies that I think is going to improve your reading skills. So there are 2 types of readers. The first type is the type that chooses one book and will read that one book by itself until it's finished. The second type of reader, however, is the type that reads multiple books at once, oftentimes within the same day. So the good thing is that these strategies work for both types of readers. Strategy number 1, read. Literally, read. This is simple logic, guys, because the more that you do something, the better at it you will become. This is simple logic. You need to find time. You need to map out time in your day that you can devote yourself to read, whether it be wake up earlier so that you can get that reading done in the morning, or you can use a book like this and read at night when you're laying in bed, or just at any point in time in your day that you can seriously devote your time to reading. You need to invest in that because that is going to make sure that you are getting that reading done. Strategy number 2. This is a lot like strategy number 1, but this is playing a little bit deeper into that. So strategy number 2 is always take your book with you. This is something that will allow you to read when you have opportunities that arise throughout your day. If you always have your book at the ready, then you will always be able to read. Simple logic, right? Okay, strategy number 3. Skim. So, skimming a text, book, what have you, it allows your mind to prepare itself for the task you're about to go on, which is reading. This is a strategy that I use as a college student. This is something that I learned in grade school, high school, and then carried with me throughout college. So before, like whenever we got reading assignments, before I would begin those reading assignments, I would flip through. I would see which sections were mapped out that specifically had the vocabulary words listed from that page. I would see which specific sections entailed what specific topics that I needed to look at. You know how school textbooks are set up, right? So this same logic applies for just a regular book. You want to skim through the next chapter. You want to see how many pages are in that chapter and figure out if you can finish that chapter in the allotted amount of time that you have. This is also a good way to sneak in a little prize for yourself. Hey, if I finish this, then I'm going to go make myself a cup of hot cocoa or just something small, you know, something that will really give you incentive to get that chapter read. And I think that skimming is really just preparing your mind for the task of reading. Strategy number 4. Look up definitions. This is something that I highly recommend. You need to be looking up words that you do not know. And whether you look them up and record them, that's fine. But you at least need to be looking these words up because the more that you can expand your knowledge, the more avid of a reader you're going to be. You're going to understand more words when you come across these texts if you look up these definitions. I have, at times, if I find a word that I find very beautiful and I'm like, I want to use that word when I'm speaking, or I want to use that word when I'm writing. I will write it down. I'll get a journal, I'll write this down, and I will put the definition and I'll give a little sentence, and then I will try so hard to put that word in conversation over the next few days. I am a huge word lover. I love poetry, and I just think that words are beautiful. And if I come across a word, I'm pretty much going to be obsessed with it, and I'm going to try to use it as much as possible. And then people are going to look at me like they don't know what I'm talking about because, you know, a lot of people don't use big words in conversation, and that's okay. But in any case, look up your definitions. You don't want to be reading anything and guessing on what words mean. It's just going to overall make you a better reader, a faster reader, and I think it's a really good strategy. Okay, strategy number 5, set your environment. This is very important. There are 2 types of readers when it comes to environment. The first type needs complete and total silence. The second type, however, can read in pretty much any type of noisy background. They do not get easily distracted. They can block out noise. They have selective hearing. And I identify with the latter type. I can pretty much read at any given time, in any given situation. I have just taught myself to do that over the years, and that's okay. Some people can't even train themselves to do that. They're just that type of person where they have to have silence in order to enjoy a book, in order to focus and hone into that book. And that's perfectly fine. You don't have to be one or the other. It doesn't mean you're a better reader if you can do it this way, and vice versa. But what it does mean is that you need to be mindful of the type of reader that you are when it comes to environment, and you need to be respectful of that, and you need to just set your environment before you go into reading. If you need complete and total silence, go in the next room, shut off your TV, and then get to work. Lay down, get comfortable, and start reading. If you're the latter type like me, it doesn't really matter all that much. I do enjoy, you know, reading in silence from time to time, but it doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't matter at all. But yeah, that's my 5th strategy. Okay, this is probably one of my most favorite tips. I didn't rank any of these in order from importance to least importance or anything like that. I just, you know, jotted all of these down. But this one is probably going to be my most favorite and my most passionate strategy. So strategy number 6 is read the words out loud. It's okay to switch things up from time to time, but I'm sure, you know, we're all readers here. We have all experienced this. So you're reading and you have read the same sentence over and over and over, or the same paragraph over and over and over, and you're just not getting it. Your mind is just not going there. It's drifting off to something else. You're thinking about your day. You're thinking about what needs to be done the next day, something like that. And it takes forever to finally get that paragraph or that sentence read correctly. You comprehend it, and you're just fully conscious in what you're reading. Another thing that happens to me is playing off of that a little bit more is you'll be reading and then all of a sudden you snap out of it and you're like, I've been reading for 5 minutes and I haven't been focusing on what I'm reading. I'm literally just reading the words, but my mind has drifted to another topic or another place. And all I've been doing is reading like a robot in my brain. And then all of a sudden I realize that I've been doing this, and then I have to flip back 2 pages or wherever I last remember I left off. I don't know if that happens. That's probably a bit extreme, but it does happen to me. My mind wanders so much. So a neat little trick in order to, if you find yourself doing this, or to just switch things up. It's okay to switch things up. Reading, you should make reading fun to you. So I like to read out loud. I really enjoy it. When you're reading out loud, you really have to think about your tone, pitch, speed, um, expression, everything like that. And I just think it's really, really fun to do that. And it might take a little bit longer versus, reading in your brain, in your head. But reading out loud really allows for me to stop letting those non-related to the book thoughts just creep in and really kind of blocks them out when you're reading out loud. And it's just really fun to hear yourself read. It's different, and I don't think a lot of people do this, but I do recommend this, especially if you have those issues where you are reading and you're just not fully there. You're not fully conscious in the book. Your mind is just wandering off to a different place, a different scenario. Maybe something happened in your day that your mind just can't let it go, and you need to think about it. You really do need to think about this, but it's not the proper time, and you're wanting to not think about your life, and you're wanting to escape and dive into another person's life and perspective. And that's the whole point of us reading. Reading allows for you to experience so many different lives in your one life of living, and that's just the beauty of reading, isn't it? But yes, that is the my most favorite strategy, I think, is reading out loud, and you should definitely try it. Okay, so this is strategy number 7. It is the last strategy I came up with, and it is read many kinds of text. By doing this, we are challenging and stimulating our minds. Okay, if you're just reading one type of genre, that's not going to allow yourself to grow as a reader. You need to at least dabble in several different types of genres. You can find interest in different genres. Look, look into it. I also recommend that you pick a subject or a topic that you are not interested in, and then you look for books that revolve around that topic or that genre, and find one that you think is interesting. Skim through it, read up about it, listen to reviews on it, and challenge yourself. Look at it as a challenge and read that book and see how you feel when you're done. I did this when I was given a book that I was not excited about reading, but I told myself, I really want to read this so I can have the conversation with the person that gave me the book. So I put myself to the test. The genre was a historical book. At the time, I was not interested in history. It just did not rev me up with excitement. So, but I did read it nonetheless, and I was very pleasantly surprised by the end of the book, how much I enjoyed it. And now I enjoy those history texts. And it was all because that one person gave me this book and really challenged me to read outside of my personal box that I had at the time. And the person didn't know that I didn't like that type of genre. They just wanted to share something with me. And odds are, if you have someone in your life that really, really, really is excited to share something with you, you need to read it. You need to take it, and you need to be grateful and read it. And even if you don't like it at the end, you need to show that person that you are grateful that they thought of you and gave you a book that they really hold dear to their hearts, because we need to bring that back again. We need to bring book giving back again. Maybe that's another idea for this channel. Maybe we can do like a books giving or booksmas or something like that. I don't know. I'm just thinking on the top of my head here. But yeah, that's all for my strategies, guys. I hope you find this useful, and we're all readers here. If any one of you has any further suggestions or tips, things that are popular, not popular, feel free to share. Please do share, because Who wouldn't want to be a better reader, right? All right, bye guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.